Don't forget folks, before we go any further, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, ring the bell and all that jibber jabber, and thank you very much for supporting Invincible Asia. After directing the original Miracle Fighters and its first sequel, Shaolin Drunkard, for Golden Harvest, the highly praised and always impressive Yuen Woo-ping took a small sidestep from the series to focus on some projects with his new star, a young Donnie Yen, in films such as the highly impressive Drunken Tai Chi and the little seen but very entertaining Mismatched Couples. Equally, Golden Harvest was also heading in another direction, with 1983 proving to be a huge year for them, with big budgeted fantasy, Sue, Warriors from the Magic Mountain, Winners and Sinners, and Project A highlighting the box office draws of Jackie Chan, Sammo Hung and Yuen Biao. But for the ever busy, always creative Yuen clan, the stories of the Miracle Fighters was not over yet. Clearly, the team had a few more crazy ideas and moments of movie magic that they still wanted to bring to the screen. Enter Lo Wei, director of Bruce Lee hits The Big Boss and Fist of Fury, as well as many of Jackie Chan's 1970 classics, not to mention a host of other Shaw Brothers and early Golden Harvest hits. Wei would offer to produce the next two sequels under the banner of his Lo Wei Motion Picture Company, albeit with a bit of a lower budget than what Golden Harvest had initially give. Replacing Woo-ping while making his directorial debut with TAOISM Drunkard would be his equally talented brother Yuen Chung-yan, a name that had enough clout behind it as one of the famed Yuen clan, as well as his many appearances in Shaw Brothers films and the high number of choreography work he had done since the late 1960s. Clearly wanting to show that he offered just as much creativity than his big brother, Chung-yan pulled out all the stops with TAOISM Drunkard, delivering a host of outrageously fast-paced fight scenes, eye-opening moments of magic, and a bevy of wild characters, of which the man himself appears in two different and extensive roles, almost working like the yin and yang of the story. Returning as the ass-kicking Taoist granny from the first two movies, Yuen Chung-yan also appears as the drunken Taoist monk, giving his character an introduction and a half that sees him zoom through the temple in a go-kart shaped as a rat's head.
Hey brother, how are you today?
Have you been drinking again? You're my brother, you should set a good example.
What are you gonna do to me, brother?
Also known as Miracle Fighters 3 and Drunken Wu-Tang, TAOISM Drunkard also sees the return of Yuen Ya-chor, sometimes known as Simon Yuen Jr., as the leading hero of the story, and older brother Yuen Shan-yi as the crazed old devil that mirrors his villainous roles as the sorcerer bat and evil magician from the first two films. While the stories for all four films are clearly unrelated, it's obvious that the Yuen clan aim to bring some connection between the films with the repeated use of these characters. The wonderful Yen Shi Kwan, who worked with the Yuen clan throughout their Shaw Brothers era and their Dance of the Drunk Mantis, as well as on films such as Jackie Chan's Fearless Hyena 1 and 2 and Dragon Fist, appears as the older brother of Shun Yi's old devil character. In fact, Yen Shi Kwan would also return for the next film, Young TAOISM Fighter, as well as star for Yuen Woo-ping in Once Upon a Time in China 1 and 2, and the highly praised Iron Monkey, where he would face off against Donnie Yen. It's also worth noting his band of burly and colourful troublesome warriors who come in the form of Hilda Liu, starlet of films such as Pink Force Commando, Shaolin Chastity Kung Fu, A Fistful of Talons, and following sequel Young TAOISM Fighter, the wonderful Choi Oh-sam, the heavy-set actress who can be seen in films such as Dreadnought, Treasure Hunters, Esprit d'Armure, and Millionaire's Express, and Yuen clan regular Mandy Chan, who had just made his debut in Woo-ping's Drunken Tai Chi, as well as appearing in Mismatched Couples, Young TAOISM Fighter, Bloodsport, Iron Monkey, and Legend of the Wolf, as well as many others. As for the Young TAOISM Fighter, however, fans may feel that things were starting to dry up.
Ridiculous!
Shot soon after TAOISM Drunkard, and still with Lo Wei as producer, young TAOISM Fighter was clearly shooting for the stars with its wild and outlandish ideas, based on a script by first-time writer Che Chi Sheng, but lacked the budget needed to make things really work. This time round, the Yuen clan are only credited for the action choreography, with Yuen Yat Chor being the only family member to return, and the only one to star in all 4 films. Directing this time is the illustrious Chen Chi-hua, close friend of Jackie Chan and director of films such as The Face Behind the Mask, 36 Crazy Fists, Snake and Crane Arts of Shaolin, Half a Loaf of Kung Fu, Dance of Death, and Vampire Settle on Police Camp, as well as gaining the credit as the executive director on Jackie's films like Shaolin Wooden Men, Police Story 1 and 2, Project A2, Miracles, Operation Condor, and Drunken Master 2 respectively. Here, Chen works with what he has, throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks, and, although restricted through budget, still manages to bring an abundance of creativity to the screen, even if it all doesn't make any sense. Returning with Yuen Yat Chor is the aforementioned Yen Shi Kwan, Hilda Liu, Mandy Chan, and Jackie Chan film regular Tai Bo, who plays a different role to the one he played in TAOISM Drunkard. They are joined by the prolific Lee Man Tai, who had starred for Chen in many of his aforementioned directorial efforts and Lo Wei films, and would actually go on to star in the very unrelated later sequel, New Miracle Fighters, in 1988. Taiwanese actor Kwon Chung also joins the cast, along with Korean actor Jong Il-do, sometimes known as Bruce Lee, and others. Like TAOISM Drunkard, the film was shot in Taiwan, and perhaps comes across more so in its appearance with its set pieces, colourful costumes, silly wigs, and wild choice of weaponry that does often feel like a Shaw Brothers fantasy on a budget. Upon the time of its release, it also probably felt a little out of place, with Hong Kong cinema being swept up in the modern action hits of Jackie Chan, Sammo Hung, John Woo, and many others. That said, young TAOISM Fighter still achieves its entertainment value with its own kind of charm and creativity that overcomes its budgetary constraints. Fight fans certainly won't be disappointed with what's on offer, from a drunken master to a sword-wielding lady ninja, and its gravity-defying swordsman to Yuen Yat Chor's mastering of the yin-yang separation style that sees his body break completely apart and independently beat the hell out of his opponent. While both films certainly come across like live-action cartoons for the most part, there's no denying just how much enjoyment and fun they both deliver, bringing to a close a period of Hong Kong and Taiwanese cinema that perhaps only an older audience of Hong Kong cinema might get today. Still, these 2 Taoist tales are absolutely worth checking out in continuing the journey of the Miracle Fighters and that of its leading man, the wonderful Simon Yuen Yat Chor.